Hey, what's going on YouTube? Marine X back at it again. Get home bags. Okay, we've talked about these before. Mine is always changing. It's always being updated. I have bags that live in my truck, bags that go in my truck when I need them to. This is my super overt get home bag, kind of like my I don't give a F get home bag for an SHTF situation, or if I have a flat tire far away, I have a lifted truck, I can't change my own tires. I do have tow services available, but if I need to abandon my vehicle and get home for whatever reason, this is going to have the ability to keep me hydrated, fed, and navigate my way to the house. My intent is for this bag for me to be able to walk 10 to 15 miles and be able to be a-okay with this bag overall. I think that you are going to come up with your own solution for these. You're going to know if you live in a rural area, a cityscape, an urban area, or whatever. For whatever reason you may need these, you're going to make those see fit. This is the Vertex Siege. They have this in two different versions. You can get the sling version, which I think will be uncomfortable to walk long distances. But if you're going to use that for, it might be up to 5 miles, maybe you look at the sling version. Plus, it's not as big as this. And then they have the backpack version, which is 25 liters, a very overt bag, not a gray man bag. If you're looking for something gray man, you can look at something in their Ready Pack series. This is the Ready Pack 2.0 they came out with years ago by Vertex. This is much more covert, but you can still carry weapons inside of this. And, so it's still different solutions that you can have if you don't want to be as overt with it. This is one of those scenarios where I don't care how much I stand out, because I'm kind of unapologetically getting home, and I have a lot of ways to defend myself when it comes to someone possibly taking my gear. I like this bag a lot. It feels really good rucking it. I've already done an overview on this. I'll link that video up down below. Just some key highlights. I like the padding on the bag itself. It feels really good. I love the pockets on the shoulder straps. We'll talk about what I keep in those. And then I really like the front dump area. They've done a good job incorporating this. I've seen other companies do this. This is big enough for a ballistic helmet, a bump helmet, or a gas mask, or a raincoat, whatever you want to put in here. It's a decent size up here. So I like those are some of my big key highlight features. And then last thing, it has water bottle pockets, super small, super little detail, but a lot of bags are starting to get away from that, and I'm a big fan of it. So let's just kind of like jump inside of the bag overall. One thing also is, I would say, if you're going to have a very overt bag, you're kind of unapologetically saying that you're okay with being out there. So maybe find different ways to arm the bag as well. Have armor in the bag so you can get stuff. If you get something from Vertex, 9 times out of 10, Premier Body Armor makes some type of ballistic measures or shielding for your bag already, which can probably get you up to a level 3A protection for your bag. This is specifically designed for the Vertex Siege. But if you have a bag that's not by Vertex or one of their partner bag companies, you could always get a universal armor plate, which I've had in some of my bags. But if you also want, you can just get their armored laptop sleeve. So this armored laptop sleeve has some of their armor inside, and obviously you can still carry your laptop inside, up to a 14-inch laptop, but it also has that protection. So if you put the laptop in here along with the protection, this is actually going to give you quite a bit of protection. And imagine you have both. If you have the armor for the bag and you have the protective laptop carrier, then you're going to have a lot of protection for your bag overall. So just think about that as well, especially if you're going overt. You want to make sure you have those type of measures in place. Jumping into this, I want to talk about something that I rarely see people have on their bags, on their get home kits, any of their SHTF stuff. This is respirators. I don't know what is up with people and just thinking that they need to go bump helmet first. They need to go ballistic helmet first. Maybe. I think it's more important to get yourself a respirator and learn how to use it. And when I say learn how to use it, I mean learn how to wear it, learn how to clear it, learn how to drink from it, and learn how to shoot with it. These are going to be much more substantial to possibly saving your life than a ballistic helmet, maybe deflecting around or shrapnel that may be coming your way. So this is a full face respirator by Mira Safety. This is a CM8M. This is basically their adapted military respirator that they've adapted for civilian use. This thing is fantastic. I still have the bottom of my canister, which I will take off before usage, and then it will start to filter the air. I just don't want anything getting in there right now. But this thing is great. It's going to filter all sorts of toxins. You can get different canisters for this. You can wear it on the left or the right, or you can wear double if you really want to. You can purge this mask while you're wearing it. You can drink from this. You can also get the actual canteen, and the canteen will allow from you to hook this up and still drink from the container itself. I'm not running this. Maybe I should run this in this bag. I'm running a different filtration bag system in here. I intend to use this system to egress from an area. I would imagine I want to drink if I'm lingering in an area that has toxins, and I may want to drink if I'm lingering in that area. I don't want to linger in an area with toxins, so I'm not running the canteen right now, but I mean, maybe that's something that you want to do. I like this because it has 6 of the pull tabs on here. It makes it super easy adjustable. I normally leave the top 2 tabs adjusted for my head, and then I just have to quickly pull the bottom 4, or even just pull the bottom 2, get this thing fitting how you need to. You absolutely should take this to a range that allows you to shoot with a respirator on, get used to shooting with a respirator, everything. Just make sure you know how to use these bad boys. Make sure they're set up properly. I think these are super important to have with you just in case. So respirator, I rarely see people running those. Not really sure why, but that's something I think you should think about. Sticking with the bag itself, so nothing else in this dump area. If I wanted to, I could run here, you know, I could have run a brain coat or a bump helmet or a ballistic helmet, or I could even stuff more stuff in here, but I'm just gonna let that run by itself solo, nothing else up here. This does give you a bunch of laser cut moly if you wanted to attach stuff on there. I choose not to do that because once you put the respirator in there, this thing becomes canted. Over here in one of the water bottle pockets, I'm walking the Grail. This is the 16 or the 24 liter of their GeoPress series. This one is designed to filter out microplastins, 99.9% of toxins in water. It just doesn't filter, you know, too much of the unknowns, but it's a 99.9% because that's what they can purport to say. This is a little pricey boy, but these things, the filters have a 6-year shelf life. You can use this about 300 times, 300 presses before you need to change the filter. This, you may notice, it does have handles on the side because this is made of titanium. You can remove this canister, and when you remove the canister itself, you can use this for cooking. So you see the filter is here. You actually push, you fill the water up here, and you press this through. And when you press this through, the water is contained in here. And you can use this for boiling fish head soup or anything else you want to boil up. If you want to boil the water for even more extreme measures, then that might be something that you might want to look into. It also contains a lid for that, which I'll show you that inside the bag. So I like that system a lot. So over here in the other water bottle pocket, here is a non-lethal protection measures for me. I just bought a whole bunch more of these pepper gels on the Amazon Prime Day that they recently had. The one that I had expired. I reached out to the company and they said that it should be fine. What I'm going to use that for is I'm going to use it for more testing with my respirator to see does it properly work, you know. So I'll use the expired one to make sure that my respirator is good to go. But this is going to allow for you to use this, flip at the very top right here, and then press. And you can use this on somebody if you need to evac from a situation. I like pepper gel more than pepper spray because it doesn't make such a big cloud. Nonetheless, if you use this, you probably, unless the person's laying on the ground or far away from you, there's a high likelihood if there's any type of wind, this is going to blow back on you. So you might want to spray it just to get used to it. The only other thing that's in this area is an ouchie boo-boo kit. I do have a trauma kit that lives in my truck. The high likelihood is this bag will be with me in my truck and I can grab that trauma kit and transfer it to this bag. But there's not really an ouchie boo-boo kit in my truck. This will do stuff for me as comfort items to get me home. As I'm walking home, I get stung by some type of animal and I'm allergic or whatever. It has some anti-sting in here. It has aspirin. It has ibuprofen. It does have stop diarrhea. It has Band-Aids. It has you know, iodine. It has triple antibiotic ointment. Just different things inside of here to make my comfort level a little bit more easy as I'm going home. You know, some pain relief pads, some just different things in here. Some BC powders for headaches. you can grab anything here and just try to treat yourself while walking home. It does. This is by Vertex as well. This entire back has a hook panel, so if you want to attach this to a loop panel, you can. The front of it has a loop on the front, so you can label this. Mine is labeled with a medical symbol, so if someone else picks this up, they already know what the deal is. So that's pretty dope. The thing up here I like about this bag is that while it's laying on the ground, you can actually grab right here and pick the entire bag up off the ground. That is pretty dope. A very small, unique feature. In this very front pocket, this is designed for you to tactically carry. This is a CCW bag. So if you want to run a pistol in here, you can. It is entirely looped line, so you can run a holster, have a pistol in here. I have a different solution because I normally have a weapon on my body. So this is going to be used for extra mags. As you can see, I'm going to be rocking 300 Blackout. Now I'm rocking some subsonics for the 300 Blackout. For me personally, I just want to be able to have a solution that's going to be small and be able to deploy very quickly, and it's going to be stronger than the weapon that's actually on my body. So I'm running 4 extra mags in this pocket, plus there's 1 mag in the weapon. So that's going to get me 5 mags all together, and each of these hold 20. So that's going to get me plenty of just firepower, stop power, put down power, just in case. It's not a full loadout, obviously, because that would be 32s, but I don't want to run 32s, so it is what it is. One thing I like about the Siege is it does have the zippers at the very top right here, but it has zippers on the side. So if I needed to access something on the side of the bag, I can kind of open it up, grab whatever I need. So 4 zippers on this bag all together, just in case you don't want to open the top of your bag and reveal what you have inside. So that's pretty dope. Before I jump and talk about what's on the rear of the bag, I want to talk about another essential feature I think that you should have absolutely in a get home situation, which is a analog watch instead of a smartwatch. This is the Korean Field Solar Watch by Veer. One thing I like about this watch is that it runs off the sun. 6 hours of sunlight will get you 6 months of reserve time, which is incredibly important if you're going to be using this for a get home situation. The thing is that we love our smartwatches. I know you guys do. I don't particularly love mine because you are tethered to power. I don't care if you have the best Garmin Phoenix or if you're rocking an Apple Watch. If you use a smartwatch at a certain point, you will be tethered to a wall or to an outlet or to a battery bank or whatever to get more power into your watch. These things work off the sun, and they have more features when disconnected from the world than any smartwatch ever could. You can use this to figure out which way is south. This has a sapphire crystal glass, which is crazy resistant to scratching. You can damn near scratch this with your pocket knife. It's not going to scratch up. It does have more water resistance, a lockdown screw down crown, which even gives you more of a guarantee to keep water out of this bad boy. A 2-year waterproof guarantee. This is the Korean version, which is paying homage to the Korean War. So the thing that makes this different, it actually does have a map of Korea on the back of the case of the watch. So map of Korea on the back of the watch itself. It does come with 2 watch straps when you make these purchases. So you can get a nylon strap, you can get yourself a pass-through strap, or you can even upgrade and get yourself something different if you wanted to as well. The thing is that I just 100% want to be able to depend on a device that I know is going to get me, is going to work when I need it to. And as much as I enjoy the aesthetics of a smartwatch and just being able to have my messages on the go, I'm not always the biggest fan of having something that's going to die. Also, it's very nice to be able to have an analog watch that you can pass down to your loved ones. And on top of all of that, you can absolutely know that this thing is going to be much more reliable whenever you need it. This is USA assembled, unlike every single smartwatch, and it feels like a brick on your wrist, but in the right type of way. 36 millimeters is the one that I'm rocking. Of course, you could always try to get yourself, you can check out the other watches on Veer's website to see if you want to get a larger case. I love the tan accent on this. I love the way it looks. Now for mine specifically, I've added a button compass, which is going to allow for me to quickly glance down at my wrist to see which way is north, south, etc., etc. And so you can add all sorts of features on there. Check the link down below or use the link on the description or on the screen to get the best pricing for this watch. Shout out to Veer for sponsoring today's video. 100% an essential part of any type of survival or get home bag is a real watch. You're not going to convince me otherwise. I don't care how good your freaking Phoenix, your Garmins, whatever are at a certain point, they will not work when you need them to. And I'm just not a big fan of that. Flipping over to the rear of the bag, this is where we jump into the actual shoulder straps. This is unique because they've decided to utilize this space for something other than a bunch of just nylon loop straps. They've actually made it so you can have pockets on the bag itself. I like this feature. Here, a couple of snacks. Got a couple of Cliff Bars. Keep yourself energized. You can eat half of one of these. They give you a lot of calories, a lot of energy. You can keep these here. You can keep trail mix in here. You can keep whatever. Just a little bit of energy just in case you need it. Over here, this is where I keep my main flashlight. Now, on my body, there's almost always a flashlight. But the thing is, the flashlight that's on my body is normally not as powerful as the flashlight that are in my bag. So this is the Woobin E8. I think this is a 1300 max lumen flashlight. I mean, it's a nice little flashlight for your pocket. But if you're thinking about something that's going to be just very powerful and be able to, distract an enemy, distract an animal, and have longer distances, I think the one of your get home bags should be more powerful. This is where we get the Phoenix PD36R Pro. 2800 lumens on this. It has a strobe mode. Let me give you a strobe warning. There you go. Easy to activate this. 2-button rear tail switch, so you won't accidentally activate the one that you don't want. You can easily switch between these modes. I'm a big fan of all sorts of flashlights, but for this one, I just like the fact that I can turn it on with one button and I can switch through modes with the other button. This thing has a real momentary switch that you can use. Unlike some of its competitors, it's built like a tank. It uses a 27100 battery, so I keep an extra one in here just in case the one that's inside the battery is more dead than I realize. I do use this bag for rucking, and sometimes I take the flashlight out to shine ahead of me. So I keep an extra battery in here, but both of these batteries are 5,000 milliamp hours, so they are humongous batteries. I like them a lot. Also in here is where I keep my compass that I intend to attach to my shoulder strap. So this is the O Tactical compass by O Night or O Life or whatever. It's a fidget type of compass. It's very accurate, but it also has a little bit of a fidget factor. I'm running this through with a lanyard that I can attach to my shoulder strap so I can take a quick glance down at it. Has a little bit of fidget functionality to it. I could run a kind of more of a lensmatic compass if I wanted to shoot an azimuth if I was running a map in this bag. For the most part, I intend to rock this bag in areas that I know. So I don't intend to have a large scale map with me. Maybe I'll change my mind on that and I won't have to be shooting any azimuths. So I kind of want to reduce the weight and not carry my larger compass with me. So I've been living in Dallas off and on since 1996, so I'm pretty well versed on how to get back to the house. This bag does include a waist strap. I like the fact that it's very muted. They didn't give you the most real estate because you don't really need it. If you want to, you can run it, but for mine, I just kind of leave it here. Nice thick padding on the back of this bag. Feels really, really good when you have it on. So just well done. I am running a Dango tether, so anything that's in this bag that I pull out that I don't want to put back in the bag, I can quickly attach to this tether versus having to well, how am I going to attach it? Do I put it in my pocket? Is there room in the size? So I like that solution a lot. So also up here, they do give you a little bit of loop panel if you want to label this, if you're part of a team or if you just want to be able to put US patch or whatever you want to do. But this says if you see me running, try to keep up, indicator that it could be going down. There is a top pocket up here. In here, I do keep the Princeton Tech. This is the Viz. This is their headlamp. It has IR on it. They have one that also, it's just RGB only. If you don't run night vision, if you're not running it with optics on your weapon or anything like that, just get that one. They sent this to me. So if I ever do need that, I will have the IR capabilities on it. It has RGB, very good white light on it. I like that the headband has no Velcro, no loop panels. That does not agree with my locks. So I like that. That's my favorite part of this. This has replaced my Coast flashlight that now lives in my truck. This now lives in this bag. Very, very capable. And also in this bad boy, I do have some heat wave sunglasses. These things are fantastic. These are Z87, which means you can wear these on construction sites. I like the fact that these things go on easily. They work really, really well. They give you full coverage so you can avoid hitting stuff hitting your eyes, and they look good. I mean, quite frankly, that's kind of important to me as well. but they're relatively affordable. You're not spending an arm and a leg on something like this, you know, because they're not made here in America. I think these are made in Taiwan. I think that's why they're probably a little bit more affordable. Yeah, they are made in Taiwan. So my get home bag has evolved over the years. I used to keep a change of clothes in it and a change of shoes. And what I've just learned is that I, for the most part, wear shoes or boots that I'm used to walking long distances in. That way I don't have to change anything if I have to walk. Jumping into the bag itself, this is the unique feature that I think makes this a lot dope on this bag, because if you look here, this is what they call their rapid access pull tab. This has evolved so much with Vertex over the years. This thing here is very, very sleek and easy to pull. It used to be, this is kind of like Gen 2 of that tab. It was a lot bigger than the current one. So if we look at the current one, you see where they're going with this. It's getting a lot more streamlined, still easy to pull, but a lot more streamlined. And then if we look at version 1 of the rapid access pull tab, you can see where this thing has come from quite a bit. They have changed this tab so much. The goal of the rapid access pull tab is so that when you put your bag down where your weapon is, you can absentmindedly grab that actual zipper pull and open your bag faster. On Vertex bags, they have made it so that your rapid access pull tab can be transferred to any zipper pull that you want on this bag. It's true on a lot of their bags, but it's very true on this bag. So the only one you can't transfer it to is the sunglass pocket, which why would you want to rapidly open a sunglass pocket? But any of these other zippers, you can transfer very quickly to those and you should be good to go. That's one thing I like about this. So if you quickly open this up, that's going to give you access to the bag itself if you need to get inside of this bad boy very quickly. So you can see if you want to, you can half open and you can kind of zip it down. That's where I said it has those 4 zippers. So if you want to, you can kind of just half open it here. Of course, you can fully open it and we'll go full clamshell. I'm not going to do that right now, but I like this capability of being able to just kind of halfway open this up. The bag stands up on its own, even when I have it configured like this. This bag is really easy to configure to where if it's weighty, you can still keep it standing. Some of its competitors do not like when you put some stuff inside because you just can't get the weight right. So let's just take the thing inside that is kind of throwing the weight off the most. This is the DDM4, this 300 Blackout. This is by Daniel Defense. What I like about this is that 300 Blackout, very small, very capable. Mine is ready for a can. I've already talked about this weapon. I'll leave my whole overview on this. I've already started to put more rounds down range. I'm aim point H1 on this. Only thing I'm not running on this right now is a sling and a light. I don't want either right now, although I do have some decent slings and lights that just in case I want to run those. Kung Flu grip by Die Free. I am running a Radiant Arms charging handle, mag pull for the butt stock. Everything in a dead air for the muzzle brake. Everything else is pretty much stock on this bad boy. I like it because it does give me quick deploy capabilities to pull this out of my bag. Just kind of already have the butt stock kind of pulled out a little bit. I like it. I can even rock it that way, and I can quickly get this thing into my shoulder and get rounds down range. What I like about this specific red dot, it's kind of like an OG red dot when it comes to what's going on nowadays, is that it doesn't have magnification, or maybe it has 1x. I'll link up the description down below. But I like it that you can run this with both eyes open and you can leave this turned on. There's optics that you can have that are shake to wake. I don't want to listen. I know they probably work well. I just don't want to trust that those features don't work when I need them to. If you keep this thing at 50% magnification, which is where I keep mine at, this thing will go for at least 20,000 hours. If you keep it turned off, it will go for 50,000 hours. That's 5 years. 20,000 hours, that's over 2 years. I just leave mine turned on medium settings. I leave the caps hanging off here, and this is just how I rock it when it's in this bag. If it's not in the bag, I will close the caps and all that, but I want as quick as possible deployment of the weapon. All I need to do is pull this out the bag, rack the charging handle, and put rounds down range, and I'm ready to go. So I like this solution a ton for the bag. It's a very good solution. It kind of gets the job done. So I normally would try to keep in the bag itself a larger, more capable knife than one in my pocket. This is the Giant Mouse Tribeca. It's a great knife, good little knife, Magna cut, but I mean, If I needed to pound on it with a log, or if I need to do something stupid with it, like pry, I wouldn't do this with this. You really shouldn't do it with a fixed blade, but if you're gonna pry with any knife, it should be a fixed blade. So I had a lot of options for this. One thing I really wanted to kind of go with is I really liked the Rock 62 by Woo. I didn't like the price of it, but I like the performance. I don't like the furniture. They go in with these walnut scales on it, and they kind of do get loose when you hit this with a log. But if you're not doing what I just said, which is hitting it with a log, the furniture is just fine. This is a very, very good knife. It retains the edge really well. It works in a lot of different scenarios. It has plenty of blade length. You can get up on it, all 4-finger grip with extra room to spare. If you wanted to, you can run a lanyard back here. It does have the actual hardened, so it's designed for you to strike the rear of the knife itself. It has a good swedge on it. This is just a really good knife that I think is underrated when it comes to survival situations. The only thing that will make this that much better if there was just partial serrations right here for cutting fibrous materials like rope, but it's not required. This thing does get the job done. I don't think you'd be disappointed with this, and it does come with different sheath options. I'm rocking a leather sheath that I could just run this through my belt loop, transfer this from my bag to my body, run this and just let this hang down and be ready to rock and roll. Pretty good knife. Not gonna lie to you overall. Field sharpener by Work Sharp. Just in case that knife needs to touch up, I'm always using it when I go rucking. Sometimes I'll just walk in the woods and just use a little bit just so I kind of keep my skills up. I don't want to overuse the knife. Next thing I know, it's not ready for action. So I just keep this with me just in case. Ceramic rod on one side. I think this is 600 grit. I forget what the grit is on this, but the ceramic rod is normally all I need to touch up a knife anyway. So that's all that really matters. I do have just a small Rite in the Rain pen, which is designed to write in the rain. I have a lot of pens, but this one is a true Rite in the Rain pen, so that I have Rite in the Rain pads in here. So if I need to take notes, leave a note or whatever, then I can do that. Vertex has decided to go with this slick panel, a little bit of organization, and then they're giving you loop panel on the bottom. I like where they're going with this. A lot of companies are going all loop panel or all organization. They're giving you a healthy mix, and I like that. So right here, if you wanted to, you could put something on here as earlier. If you wanted to, you can put your med kit here. You can put whatever else you want to right there. But I kind of keep mine blank because there's something in front of it. But back here, we do have that Rite in the Rain pad that we talked about, because you do have the Rite in the Rain pen. You do have some different survival instructions, how to lay down marking tape, how to shoot an azimuth if you need to, just a little bit of basic survival skills that comes in this Rando Adventures notepad. And then you have a bunch of Rite in the Rain paper that goes right behind it, just in case you need that. And then I do have a charging cable, because I have a solar panel in here if I want to charge my devices. It's a very small cable, but at the end of the day, for this solar panel, it doesn't matter how big the cable is, because I think it's only putting out like 28 watts. This can do 28 watts, so I should be fine. And then I have the lid to my Grail cup that I talked about earlier. So once I have this off, and if I want to, I can use this for cooking purposes. I keep the lid inside the bag so I don't lose it, but it's a nice little solution if you need to boil water or whatever. Still room in here if you wanted to do other stuff. It also has a loop key holder loop in there, so if you needed to run that. We're working with the rest of the bag here offset so that the actual barrel of the weapon / the muzzle goes here. Next to it is my nutsack. This is my commander. I've decided to let this live in my get home bag because I have my nutsack admin pouch, which kind of transfers from bag to bag when I need it to. So this bag really didn't have a home. So it's kind of here. Now, some things that are inside of here, I think that can be important whenever you're in different situations. A backup flashlight. So this makes 3. I know redundancy sometimes can be over the top, but this will make a backup flashlight. This is the Nikkor EDC37 God tier, 8,000 lumens on that bad boy. This also can be charged with that charging cable you just saw. This is the Leatherman Surge with a bit kit in here. You never know what you're going to run into while you're walking home. So this will give you the opportunity to take stuff apart, put stuff together, tighten stuff. Something goes on with your weapon, you can do some different things to it. A battery bank, just in case I don't have time to pull out that solar panel, I can use this battery bank to charge some stuff up. This has a more capable pen. I like pens, so it has a pen in here. It does have some nail clippers with a pair of scissors, a bit kit. This is an off-brand, not Leatherman. This is one of their competitors called Galvanox, which is basically a full bit kit for 20% less money. So I'm a big fan of that. Also, an extender, a ratchet, Leatherman ratchet, so you can use this more streamlined. Bottle cap lifter and a pry bar. This is just kind of one of those things I had laying around. Why not put it in here? You can also use this if you want to take this to some buddies. A Zippo with butane fuel. It's nice to be able to have fire. That's going to evaporate. It's not going to be as efficient as a big lighter, which I have in here, or waterproof matches, but it is what it is. Good if I'm lighting cigars. A larger notebook if I need one for note taking or whatever, and a cigar cutter, because you never know. You might be able to use that for cutting smaller twigs or cutting tips of cigars. So that is a nice little add in as well. So there is a pocket right here, which is about a good size for an iPad. I'm not rocking anything in there, but you can do whatever you want. And then in the laptop portion of the bag, I'm rocking that solar panel that I talked about, so that if I want to, I can pull this out and I could actually use this. And I think this does 28 watts when it's at full go. So let the sun be my friend, just in case my battery banks aren't working. Of course, this is where you plug those cables in that I talked about. So you can plug those in. I have another cable in here. So 2 different cables, just in case I want to run that. It has an inside pocket in the bag right here. Now, the thing is that this pocket borrows from the water bottle pocket. So whatever you run in here, just know that they're going to conflict with one another. Then over here, there's another pocket at the very bottom, which borrows kind of from the water bottle pocket. And then above it is a zippered pocket. This is where I just keep a little bit of survival items, but nothing that's going to really have me in the woods for 4 or 5 days. Just a little bit of quick stuff. Something happens to my bag, I want to be able to tie the strap or even duct tape the strap. We'll talk about that. I do have paracord in here with a big lighter. Big lighter is good for being able to start a fire versus my Zippo. Plus, this stores, cuts, and keeps the paracord really good. Small survival kit versus something that's over the top. I bought pre-made kits before. I like DIY some kits. This is like a mixture of the two. Very nice bag, super small, but it has everything that I need inside to kind of just make sure that I'm able to get to where I need to go. Striker and ferro rod. This is a really good one. I like the fact that it has paracord as well, but this works just fine if I need to be able to start a fire. There's a lot more strikes than versus a big lighter or whatever. Waterproof matches with a strike plate on the inside so that I can use this to start a fire. This is some water purification tabs, just a couple of them. If I wanted to throw this in that grill bottle, which I don't really need, but for some reason, if I needed to, I can use those. Duct tape. This is enough duct tape to seal an entire door. So like a standard, like a 36, 34-inch door, whatever the size is, this is enough duct tape to seal the entire door, or to fix a strap on a bag, or to tape something or whatever. So you can store this in your toolbox, backpacks. I like the fact that these are super small. They're ready to rock. You don't need anything special about them. You don't have to worry about trying to get duct tape and wrap it around a credit card and just, you don't have to do all that stuff. A little bit more survival stuff. So this is a signaling mirror, just in case I want to get someone's attention. A few more of those survival cards that kind of just needed a home, and these are a little bit different from the one that I had earlier. A tiny survival guide, different things to work. I don't remember everything from the Marines. I didn't learn everything in the world in the Marine Corps, and then I don't oftentimes remember everything I learned from when I was a lad, but this is a nice pocket size one. This talks about wilderness mishaps, talks about what do you do in civil unrest. You know, it has about 67 life-saving skills in here. Tips for how to survive in your vehicle or at home or inside of the woods or whatever. Super small. How to start a fire with twigs and matches and stuff. This is a really good guide to have if I want to transfer water. So if I filtered some water that I have there, I could actually use this to transfer water if I wanted to. I would prefer to have a whirly bag, but that's a little bit bigger than this. So if I needed to also keep something dry, I could put it in here. And then I have another emergency blanket to be redundant to the one that I have in my med kit. So just a nice small little survival kit. There's so much more stuff that can be put in here. Oh, last thing is a Silcock key. This will let me, as I'm walking home, be able to tap into different things in different buildings. So if I need to fill up my water without having to dip it in a creek, I can access a Best Buy, the the back of a building or whatever, turn on their water and get some water as long as we still have water running in the city. So that should make life that much easier. I mean, this is a pretty comprehensive kit. What I've been doing for training with mine is I've been rucking with it. So you just want to be cautious and make sure that you are staying what's legal in your area, and just don't go buy everything that I have linked down below. That being said, I will link stuff down below if you want to check those out. There'll probably be affiliate links. You will be helping the channel out, and I would appreciate that very much. Comment down below, what am I missing from the kit? I've done these before in the past. I've gotten rid of stuff that I don't need or don't want, and I've added stuff in that I absolutely know will be beneficial for me. First time stopping by, hit the subscribe button. I would love to have you a part of the battalion. If this is not your first time stopping by, well, thank you once again for watching me run my grape. For everyone else, we'll speak soon.